Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be doing another install on a GME XRS 372A. This one here is actually the one I had in my last shoot. So we're putting it into this one here. So we'll be replacing it with this TX 4500. It's a GME 2A, it's just a 40 channel 2A I believe. It might be a little bit more, but I don't know, I've only ever gone up to channel 40. I've got a shroud to replace this one here with, because obviously it's a smaller two-way. And yeah, anyway, we'll get into it. Go ahead and start with pulling this here off, because I do know the original, so the factory light bolts into roughly this position. So that's going to be, I haven't looked at any instructions on these, so this is going to be my start. Anyway, I'll show you once I've got it apart and go from there. So as you can see, there's two bolts, one there and one there, or screw, sorry, and then there's a galvanized plate up above that. So I'm going to pull that off and then we'll see if this comes down at all. Alright, as you can see, I've pulled it down. There's two cables going in here. I assume one's for positive from the door, the other one's positive as a constant feed, and then the other one here, that's an earth. And then they'll just riv nutted into this galvanized bracket they were, straight through the bottom here. And then that's where the cables were fed into. It's pretty basic stuff, really, to be honest, what's going on here. This is a little bit of a mess. This here could be a little bit nicer. I think this is Outback accessories. So I don't know where it come from, somewhere online I'd say, would be my guess. This is going to be probably a pretty straightforward swap out. So pull that off. And I'll put the handpiece out the top here. All this is pretty much, they've just spliced into existing, all the factory stuff from GME, which sort of helps my job out quite a bit. So it'll come off there. There we go, and that's it. So that's that piece. Now I've just got to try and work out what way up this goes. So that's just the shroud from the fascia. Got that all in now. Lucky it's rubber, because I don't really like how the fit is on it, but anyway, you just kind of have to massage it into place. There's a lip here, which as you can see goes over the top of that, just to sort of seal it off, and then push it in through the back here. That'll pretty much just sits there like that. Anyway, I'll go ahead, put it all back together and show you once I've got it all together. Alright, so I've just drilled 4 holes in it. There's like a rubber sleeve that's been glued down. The old 2A wasn't mounted down, it was just sitting in there. But for my own peace of mind, I've just drilled some holes, chucked some cable ties in so I can run these cable ties over the top. I really wanted to loop the cable tie through one and then back out the other, but the gap's just way too thin. I didn't really keep drilling the holes out bigger so I could play around with it more. And then, yeah, so anyway, so we'll chuck this in. Yeah, so that'll mount nicely in there. Righto, I'll go in the car and then hook all that up, and then I'll mount it into the roof. I've just mounted the antennas. This is the next step. So what I'm going to do is just try and run it through the grill, around up here, and then follow the path of the existing antenna. As you can see, so I've brought that through back of the grill here, around the side of the battery. So I'm going to cable tie this back after. Now I'm about to go into the cab and then work out exactly where this antenna cable goes, pull it back. I'll be able to feed it back through that existing hole that the antenna was pushed through. Just going back to the antenna cable, so all I've done is put a hole through the roof here, push it across, then it's come down the A-pillar here, and then it's gone down under the dash to that rubber grommet that we could see in the engine bay. So all I'm going to do is just try and feed this through. I'm going to have to probably pull that off, and possibly that as well, and then I'll be able to pull it back. Yeah, as to be expected, sitting over the top of that mount, and then also the same with here, you'll see it come down. You can see it's right there, just wants to come around. There we go, like that. I'll cut all this back, pull it down. I'll probably just put a pull wire. I've got some more electrical cable somewhere, or a piece of wire or something. I'll put that in into this as I pull it out towards the ground there, and then I'll pull it back through the engine bay, and then I'll show you where I'm up to then. As you can see, I've pulled all that through now. So that's the old antenna cable, and I've taped on a pull wire onto that. So I'll just go ahead to the engine bay now, and then pull on that existing cable, which should be this one here. There you go, I can hear that coming through. So I shall just keep pulling this until I get some blue tape. I think that's probably it there. There we go. Still got a little bit more on the ground there. So just give myself plenty of slack so I can tape on this new one. Routed that all down there now. Still need to cable tie this back, but I'll get to that after. That'll be probably the last job. And I've chosen my path a little bit neater than what the previous run had been done. But other than that, still entering and exiting in the same spot. And I taped onto that pull wire that I pulled through. So now all I've got to do is just run this up through and then over onto the roof. I've ran it down, up, that's it there. So I'm going to loop it up under the dash there of the XS, and I've just fed it up. I'll flex this down, it's around up here, and then pulled it out. So it's just here. So what I'm going to do now is cable tie that XS up, and then I'll put this pillar frame back on, this one here. That just comes off with the two bolts from the grab handle there. Just pop the two covers off, just flip the ends up, and then two screws, and that comes off, and it sort of like flexes, or it doesn't really flex, it sort of like slides out like that. That is the coax cable there. Just a little tip, when you cable tie them, you're not actually meant to cable tie coax cables. Yeah, just don't over tighten them, because otherwise you'll crush the steel mesh webbing that's on the outside of the core into the plastic, and it will actually kink the copper core on the inside. Yeah, anyway, so I've cable tied that back, and then I've cable tied it all back under there as well. So I'll go ahead, chuck this cover in back now. And And then there's a plastic nut, which I'll chuck on after. And then now we're pretty much just left. Just got to cable tie these cables here back together. So I'll try and do this one-handed to try and show you. It sort of goes down the back there like that. And then you kind of have to like flex it in. Nah, I'm not going to be able to do it one-handed, unfortunately. Let's see if I can do it. It's a lot easier than what I'm making it out to be. Ah, there we go. So get those cables on the right side of that little clip that's in there. And then that's it. And then I can go ahead and chuck that grab handle back on. Cable tied that up now. That's a bit neater than what I thought it was going to turn out to be. Anyway, I assume these guys actually do like a bracket or something for here, but maybe not, because when I ordered the replacement, it just came with this fascia that I put in, and that's it. Anyway, so it's not going anywhere. There's nothing wrong with that. So what I do now is just connect the antenna and then check the power supply, and then I'll push through over the front for the dash cam there as well. At some point I'll probably will replace this cable because it's not as nice as what I'd like it to be. I'd like that to be joined properly, not with chocolate block screw down connectors. Anyway, I'll go ahead, chuck this up. I'm not going to be able to record any of this, unfortunately, for you. So you're just going to have to take my word that I did it by myself. And then I'll chuck them back together. And then I'll show you once it's all done. So that's all done. All I'll do now is just put up the cover for the back here. Where it is. Somewhere around here. So obviously that's all connected back up. I've wired up the dash cam already. Just got to put this mic back in here now. There we go. And then may as well go ahead and plug the two-way handset back in. Also the new one. There we go. Like that. And now I'll turn the ignition on. And away we go. Let's go channel 40. Can I get a radio check? Let's see if there's anyone. There we go. Now hopefully I'll test out this GME 2A in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content. Comment below if you've got any suggestions or anything.